The race to become the next head coach of the New Zealand national rugby union team continues to divide opinion across New Zealand, with the debate intensifying following the mid-January departure of Scott Robertson. What initially appeared to be a wide-open search has increasingly narrowed into what many observers describe as a two-horse race between Jamie Joseph and Dave Rennie. While other experienced figures such as Steve Hansen and Ian Foster have been mentioned in discussions, the prevailing belief is that the decision will come down to Joseph or Rennie, two highly respected coaches with contrasting philosophies, as the debate plays out on television panels, radio shows, and social media. One thing has become clear. New Zealand rugby fans are deeply split on what direction the All Blacks should take next. A divided rugby, a nation few roles in world sport carry the weight and expectation of the All Blacks head coach. The position is not merely about winning test matches. It is about preserving a legacy, nurturing culture, and maintaining standards that have defined New Zealand rugby for over a century. Following Robertson's abrupt exit, New Zealand rugby faces a defining appointment. The team's on-field performance, internal cohesion, and long-term succession planning all hinge on selecting the right leader. Recent public polling underscored just how tight the race has become. Jamie Joseph edged ahead with 55% of the vote, but the narrow margin only reinforced the sense that the country is almost evenly divided. The heart of the debate is not simply who is the better coach, but what kind of coach the All Blacks need right now. Joseph versus Rennie. Pulls apart former All Blacks hooker James Parsons summed up the contrast succinctly during a discussion on the breakdown. The hard-nosed style of Jamie Joseph is quite different to the collaborative style of Dave Rennie, Parsons observed. Because they're poles apart, it's really what you're looking for. Joseph has built his reputation on uncompromising standards, defensive steel, and emotional intensity. His teams are often physically confrontational and tactically disciplined. There is a clear line of authority and a demand for accountability that resonates with traditionalist values. Rennie, by contrast, is widely viewed as a relationship-focused coach who emphasizes communication, buy-in, and shared leadership. His tenure with the Chiefs in Super Rugby is frequently cited as an example of cultural rebuild leading to sustained success. He transformed a struggling franchise into back-to-back champions through clarity of roles and collective belief. Parsons made his preference clear. Off the back of what we've seen in terms of the breakdown of the culture and relationships, I do think Dave Rennie is well-placed. He said he pointed to Rennie's ability to unite squads and foster cohesion, something Parsons believes may be necessary given recent turbulence around the All Blacks environment. The Wallabies chapter, a red herring? One of the major discussion points surrounding Rennie's candidacy is his stint as head coach of the Australian national rugby union team. Results during his tenure were mixed, and he was ultimately dismissed before being able to complete what many believed was a longer-term rebuild. Critics argue that international performance is the ultimate benchmark. Supporters countered that context matters. Parsons suggested Rennie was beginning to make progress before his departure. Yes, the Wallabies' results weren't great, but I do think he was just starting to break through with that side, and he was let go. He said, "International rugby often provides limited time for structural transformation." Rennie inherited a squad navigating generational transition, administrative instability, and inconsistent player availability. Some believe that with greater continuity, results would have followed. For New Zealand rugby, the key question is whether Rennie's experience navigating adversity strengthens his candidacy rather than weakens it. The case for Jamie Joseph, not everyone agrees with Parsons' assessment. All Black Centurion Mills Muliaina offered a different perspective. For Muliaina, Joseph's hardened edge may be precisely what the All Blacks require. It's a two-horse race. I would love to see them work together because they're quality coaches. For me, it's Jamie because he's hard-nosed. Muliaina stated that Joseph's track record includes impressive work with Japan, where he instilled resilience and defensive organization that translated into historic Rugby World Cup performances. His ability to elevate underdog teams against Tier 1 opposition demonstrated tactical astuteness and emotional control under pressure. Supporters of Joseph argue that the All Blacks need firmness and clarity, A coach willing to demand non-negotiable standards and reset competitive hunger. In high-performance environments, sometimes incremental tweaks are insufficient. A cultural jolt may be required. Joseph represents that jolt. Could they work together? Muliana floated an intriguing possibility, appointing both men in complementary roles. I would love to see them work together because they're quality coaches. He said that on paper. Joseph Rennie partnership would combine steel and empathy, discipline and collaboration. It could balance authority with inclusion. However, reports suggest both candidates are seeking the top role rather than a supporting position. In elite sport, hierarchy clarity is crucial. Dual leadership models can succeed, but only when authority lines are unmistakable, that if both men aspire to be the primary decision maker. Compromise may prove unrealistic. The importance of the coaching team. Jeff Wilson, another former All Black, widened the discussion beyond the head coach appointment alone. The head coach is one thing, but I think it's the supporting acts and how you make the whole team cover your gaps so that it doesn't become an echo chamber for one person. Parsons added, Wilson reinforced the importance of assistant coaches in shaping the broader environment. There are some good coaches who are around Super Rugby, a deep pool of talent, he noted. They shouldn't be discounted. The All Blacks coaching ticket has historically been as important as the head coach selection itself. Skills coaches, defense strategists, and attack architects collectively define style and execution. New Zealand Rugby may evaluate not only Joseph and Rennie's philosophies, but also the assistance they would bring. Certain respected coaches around the world might become available depending on who is appointed. Leadership is rarely a solo act. The capacity to assemble a high-functioning team around oneself may ultimately tip the scales. Culture, identity, and the future. Beneath the tactical and stylistic debates lies a broader conversation about identity. The All Blacks are more than a rugby team. They are a national symbol. Maintaining standards of excellence while adapting to modern professional demands is a delicate balancing act. Recent commentary referencing breakdowns of culture and relationships has amplified calls for careful stewardship. Whether those issues are overstated or substantive, perception matters. Rennie represents restoration through collaboration. Joseph symbolizes restoration through authority. Neither approach is inherently superior. Both have succeeded in different contexts. The decision hinges on diagnosing what the All Blacks need most at this juncture. Is the environment craving unity and open dialogue? Or is it in need of uncompromising edge? A defining appointment replacing Scott Robertson was never going to be straightforward. Expectations are relentless. Every selection, every loss, every tactical decision will be scrutinized. Joseph offers intensity, defensive structure, and hardened experience. Rennie offers cohesion, player empowerment, and proven Super Rugby success. The public remains split. The experts are divided. Even former players on the same panel disagree. What is certain is that New Zealand Rugby faces one of its most consequential decisions in recent years. The next head coach will not merely guide the team through upcoming tests. He will shape the All Blacks trajectory for the next cycle and beyond. As the debate continues, one truth remains constant. The black jersey demands excellence. Whether that excellence is best nurtured through Joseph's hard edge or Rennie's collaborative style will soon be decided. Until then, the two-horse race gallops on, and an entire rugby nation watches, waits, and argues.